All right, gang. Who wants to recap last session for inspiration?
Uh, we went and talked to a guy, and he was not cool. Uh, the mayor rescinded on his deal and was like, "Hey, go take care of this other problem for me," which we were a little bit sour about because he really didn't need to do that. He was just kind of being scummy. Uh, and then we went and talked to the witch, and it turns out the situation's more nuanced than the mayor wanted us to believe. And the witch
Surprise,
was pretty
surprise.
cool. Yeah, she's a little bit losing it, living out here by herself in the woods, talking bugs and stuff. But she's neat. A warlock of some kind, clearly, who tried to help us figure out what was going on with the land. But the plan was to summon a demon, which we gathered materials for, which backfired because demons are demons. So it popped out of the cauldron and tried to kill all of us instead of, I don't know, answering any questions. And that was, I think, pretty much it for session. We did also fight a big frog, and I got bored, but that was more of a side quest.
Yeah, can I just add really quick that Frog War victim was a very surprising and incredibly jarring thing to see as your tag, Lily.
To be fair, it was spawned by a conversation wherein I was forced to remember that I was frogboard, and I had not considered it through that lens until that moment, and that's when I changed my.
Yeah, I I was horrified until I remembered what happened, and I was like, huh. Yeah, no, I suppose that did happen.
It big gulped.
Mildly concerned that you described the frog voring as the side quest and not a side effect of the side quest. But I guess
We were trying to collect some frogs, and it just
That's a-
happened.
It was a side quest. Got distracted by a big frog, and by we I mean me, and I
Bendy
wanted to
got
eat the big frog, and it ate me
real-
first.
into it and had like a Rambo First Blood moment of like, I'm gonna fuck that frog up. Got the knife, went back down, then got big gulped immediately.
I was very
Literally
I was scared. I was scared that that statement was going to end short, Cody.
I mean, I was scared that Bendy's last words were gonna be "pass me that knife."
Pass me that knife.
I'm with
Those
Juniper. June, that the same thing. I was like, oh shit, where's that sentence going?
Also, pass me that knife are great last words.
That's
I
some
don't know what you're
kick-ass last
talking
words.
about.
Yeah, it's pretty good until you remember that it is in context with combat with a frog. Otherwise, it sounds
It
badass.
sounds really cool out of
Sounds
context.
badass till you realize that it's the last words, because that means that knife did shit all
Yeah.
for you.
Also, the last words were whatever "oh" sounds like underwater. Like, oh, as you get Yoshi'd.
Huh. Okay, so you guys have you've had a little cookout at Susan's as you are all preparing to, I'm assuming, leave, unless you'd like to take a long rest here. What do you? Is that what you guys want to do?
I trust Susan completely, so I'm cool with spending a long
I do
rest.
as well.
Isn't it like daytime?
It is.
Yeah, we should probably just leave and go do more business then, right?
Oh, we could
Great.
spend the day with Susan.
we're sort of in a hurry.
We are in a bit of a hurry.
Okay.
I have stuff to do, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things that sort of we glossed in the recap is that Hattie and I tripped majorly and saw the destruction of Ashboro, so we kind of on that.
Oh, I did skip over that. That's right.
Mhm.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, we were in whispers at the time. So.
Yeah.
But like, from Hattie and my perspective, at least, like, no, we gotta go.
Yeah.
Shit's bad.
It got serious.
Okay, if that is the case, then Susan is going to bundle up a couple of potions of healing for you, and tells
What?
you that if you bring some ingredients, she will brew you other types of potions for you if you ever come back this way.
Well, that's very kind, Susan.
All right, and then you all can head back to Winnowing Reach. Remember that it is not Menofen at some point. And you have a substantially less adventurous trek back, and are arriving back to the city a few hours before sunset. And you can do your business as you would like. Would you like to return to the magistrate?
No, but
Yeah,
that's where we gotta go.
I guess we gotta see how shit out of luck we are.
Okay. The guards who stand at the gates allow you passage. You can climb up to the tree, up the stairs, and to the offices, where he when he sees you, retrieves a folded piece of paper with a seal, and says, "And did you kill the witch?"
I am going to say nothing, but demonstrably hold up the ocarina I got from her and look to the party to talk.
I ain't gonna lie to you. We did not. It doesn't make much sense, given that any one of your citizens could see this hedge witch, but she is not the problem. You understand? The skeletons that are getting up and attacking your people have to do with the slimes that y'all are farming. It's the slimes that are going into the soil and animating these skeletons. Why they don't attack her, I don't know. She didn't seem to know either. That amulet that you mentioned, and he gestures to the thing that Bendy is holding, well, I've already taken a look at it. You can do much the same. It ain't magic. It's just a little instrument on a string. There was nothing there that would give her the ability to be raising those skeletons. Not her, not anything in her house. In fact, she is trying to put an end to that. She's trying to study what's going on. So, I guess what I'm getting at here is the mission you sent us on would have killed an innocent woman. I know that was not your purpose. I know you are looking out for these people in your town here. If you keep them away from that particular part of the swamp, the attacks should fall off. She seemed to believe, and it was sort of demonstrated to us, that there is a particular area that they being the skeletons, are particularly possessive of. But if you stay away from that particular area, they should not bother you. My good friend Hattie here suggested putting up signs. And if you send someone to speak with Miss Susan, which is the name of the woman you almost had us murdered, by the way, she can point out the areas where those creatures are most protective. And that should save your people, save you a whole hell of a lot of trouble. And should also let Miss Susan hopefully finish off her work and maybe put those poor bastards to rest.
When you begin to speak, there is a bitter glint in his eyes that he very quickly checks and withdraws, and he remains cold and quiet through the duration, and then extends the folded piece of paper to you.
I will let somebody else grab that.
Gladys will grab it. And once it's in her hands, she says, "Well, I hope this letter grants us the audience that you claimed it would."
He looks down at you, just with the with dark eyes, and
For
then
your
back
sake.
up. He then turns his back to all of you.
Roderick will wait for everyone to leave. Roderick is going to stand there for a minute.
As we're like turning to leave, Hattie will say, why exactly are you so mad?
He just barely turns his head to see you over his shoulder, but he does not say anything.
It was not a pleasure doing business with you. Hattie will turn and walk down the stairs.
If Roderick is staying, Bendy will have to be shooed.
When he realizes that Bendy is not leaving, he will just... You go on with them, Bendy. I need to have a few words with this gentleman. Colvin to Colvin, as it were.
She nods slowly. Stay safe.
I'll be along.
And then leaves.
Gladys is going to wait just outside the door.
I'll be with Gladys.
Okay.
I wonder, Mr. Mayor, if I might infringe upon your hospitality a little extra. I know you are probably not exactly fond of us right now, and I won't pretend that the feeling is not at least a little mutual, but I wonder if I may impose upon you for your altar to Gesme. You said that this town has no public spaces, but that is my particular faith, so if I may.
His his talon stretches out to the side and gestures for you to welcome yourself.
Well, given that this is your house and your altar, I wonder if you might join me for a moment.
He follows you to the hearth.
Roderick will... I'm assuming the hearth is lit, since this is...
Yes.
Okay. Roderick will pull out a cigar and light the end in the fire at some point. I will say he's not actually going to smoke it, because that would be rude in this guy's house. And then he will kind of stare into the fire and say a little... Lord Gesme, who brought the light of fire to the humble folk and bird folk here alike, the double-edged gift which can both create and destroy. I wonder if you will hear me. Perhaps, maybe, with your fire and your knowledge, we can sort of mend the things that were started here. There's plenty of distrust for your children throughout the humble folk and the bird folk, and maybe, just maybe, two Colvin don't have to distrust each other quite so much. Don't have to... Well, maybe we can burn away at that reputation that we have earned. As always, it is your gift that feeds us, your gift that allows us to make the things that separate us from some of the great beasts, and forever we are thankful. And he will pointedly look at the mayor as he stands up.
The magistrate catches some of the the ashes that are falling from the hearth, and mark the just under the sigil that sits on the mantelpiece. And he nods to you.
We are very happy to be of help to this town, to protect your people, and to make sure that the things that threaten them are not anything that cannot be dealt with. But I didn't grow up here. I'm a salty porter, I'm sure you can tell. We had enough of a reputation. If you had needed our help, you could have just asked. We had a deal that you didn't need to change, but that's all something that can be under the bridge, kindling in the fire, so to speak. If we ever pass through this way again, I'm hoping if you need our help, you can just brightly ask. We call them get a poor rap for plenty of the folks. Just no real reason, as far as I can see, given the gifts of our progenitor. Gestures at the heart. Maybe we can not. Maybe we can try a little harder not to live up to that. He put his hat on and hold out a handshake.
He shakes your hand and says, I truly wish you the best of luck. Know that the Harchka is not yet so functional that you might be able to acquire everything that you need. Hence the less than scrupulous method I've had to adopt for the sake of my people and their protection.
I understand. They are lucky to have somebody who will do what they feel they must to protect their flock. But well, maybe we can start working on that change at the top. And I guess I don't have the letter, so I won't hold it up. But your letter might be a good start about that. So thank you. I hope you have a good night, Magistrate.
And you.
And I will leave.
Okay.
I told you I wouldn't be a minute, Andy. But Miss Gladys, you all didn't have to wait here.
Well, I don't trust that guy. Better safe than sorry.
I waited here because I thought Gladys was taking a minute. I look bashful.
I appreciate it, Bendy. You were fine company, fine company.
Thank you.
Well, then let's go meet the others. Get ourselves something to eat.
Okay. Do you return to the Wrangler's Rest for another night?
That's Gladys's plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should tell Eliza that we're probably going to be ready to head out tomorrow morning.
Cool.
As a courtesy.
Oh yeah, no problem. You can pass that message along, and she begins cleaning and closing up her cart to prepare. Anything anyone needs to do in town, or anything prior to taking your long rest?
How many healing potions were we sent with?
You were given 2 by Susan.
Okay. Who is holding those at the moment? I guess I would.
Whoever she handed them to, I guess.
I'll just put them in the group sheet.
Yeah. Okay.
So I guess somebody has to be carrying that. It's not like we have a bag or a
Yeah.
metal pelican.
Yeah.
Can I purchase a metal pelican?
No.
Damn it.
You mean Yap
I'll
hasn't
hold on
branched
to it.
out multi-universal?
Not technically.
Not yet.
Okay, gang, what are you doing? You need to do anything? Are you guys ready to just go to the next day?
I don't have anything to do.
Yeah. I think we might be ready for the next day.
Great. Okay. Everybody make sure that you're accommodating for the 2 silver to stay at the inn. And then the next day, with a little bit of cloud cover, but not poor weather, still quite dry and a little windy, you can all meet up with Eliza and head out towards Alderheart. It's going to be about 3 days of walking.
As we head out, I will. Hattie will hold his hands together and whispers into his hands, and when he opens them up, there'll be a pile of these little glowing crickets. He'll hand out one to each person, keep it the remainder on his own person, and say, if somebody gets hurt or goes unconscious, or you simply get very hungry, you can eat one of these or have it fed to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm going to try to give you an oil flask in exchange for this thing you've given me.
Hattie blinks and then just takes it and nods solemnly.
Okay. Then you begin your walk. And it is, for the most part, it is uninteresting and uneventful. And the roads are a little bit more crowded this way than they are out by Meadowfen, but not substantially. You see beyond the tree lines there is just barren hills and fields that are blackened and lost. There is villages that once stood that are just heaps of smoldering and abandoned piles of wood. There is no ignoring the scorched grove on this road at the best of times. And it isn't exactly close to the road, but seeing how near it got and knowing that it took another city so recently is a grim reminder of where you are all headed. It smells like smoke out here. The cloud cover begins to make a little bit more sense. Even though these fields are not necessarily burning, it feels like they are. Is there anyone... What is everybody doing as you are traveling?
I have to be lookout. I remember this. So sitting up top, just constantly craning his head around in a circle, looking for intruders. Occasionally getting distracted by his map.
I'll be helping pull the cart.
Yeah, I'll probably be doing the same.
What's Gladys doing?
Gladys is occasionally tossing a nail up in the air and catching it. Occasionally trying to encourage Roderick to play some music to help the walk go a little quicker. Probably making small talk with Eliza just about how business was while she was in town.
She tells you that while there, she she heard from a couple people who had been passing from Alderheart, and has and informs you that
apparently there is there is always the threat of robbers on the roads and in the city even, but apparently there has been even more of a strain on the Birch Guard nowadays than there has been in the past. There is, some people are just leaving the city out of fear.
That seems like a strange decision. I would think the city would be the safest place to be. Highest concentration of the Birch Guard.
Oh, I would agree, but well, there are parts of the city as big as it is that are, they, by default, do not get as protected. The higher branches and the higher reaches of the tree, those that are populated mostly by birds, they are the homes to the wealthy, and often because of that, there are more efforts put into making sure they are safe. Not to mention, many members of the Birch Guard are bird folk themselves and can reach those places. But the lower reaches, the root systems, where some of the humble folk make their homes, they are harder to maneuver through, harder to reach. The jails that the Birch Guard organize at, they are all higher up anyway.
Yeah, so it's a real shame that dichotomy of protection continues to exist in Alderheart.
Yes. It's not all at all very unexpected.
Unexpected, no, but certainly unfortunate. We all need to feel like an equal part of the community that we live in, and it's a shame that that continues to not be the trend in Alderheart.
Are any of you familiar with Alderheart?
Oh, I was there many years ago.
I'm from there.
And was it nice there? Seeing as I'm going to be living there soon.
Yeah. I don't know. Depends on what you like. Busy. Certain. Whereabouts you got property? Up top?
Fortunately, yes, in the canopy. My sister lived there and held a shop that I am taking over after she passed away.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yes, from what I understand, it was a good location. But we'll see.
Sarah, I don't think we discussed where my folks would be at. But
Uh,
yeah, I don't want to make any presumptions here.
No, that's fair. This is a good question. Sierra, what sort of status do you think your family held?
Like, see, like, I want to say pretty average middle class sort of thing. They own their own, shop and stuff, but like also are humble folk. So I don't know whether they would just gravitate lower or if they would have, or if they would have like their shop in the same sort of district that she does. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, if your family was relatively affluent, but not overly wealthy, particularly as humble folk, there's a very good chance they would have found themselves in the section of the tree that is called the Bright Hollows, which is center of the trunk, near the lower half. And again, this tree is miles.
huge. Yeah.
Yes, it blocks out the sun in like a 2-mile radius. But the Bright Hollows are a section of the trunk that is cut through and shaped and allows for a lot of sun to pour through its center and is pocketed with buildings and structures that go with both inside and outside the tree itself. And it is truthfully a good place for humble folk. It is naturally bordering just on over the underfall, the root system, this sort of scarier place that Eliza is alluding to. But it is substantially more secure and still regularly has perch patrols as
Right.
well.
Sweet. Also, Ted, I didn't mean it like that.
No, it's just so sounded.
It's more of like a congratulations on making a new
On the
life for
property.
yourself. Yeah, not a. I'm glad
hey.
your sister died.
Hey, my sister died. Clicks tongue. Nice.
Nice. Sick, dude. Dead family.
What is everyone else talking about as you're traveling? You've got a long ways to go.
I just got a new ocarina. I'm gonna very quietly learn how to play.
You have no lips.
I'm gonna blow into it.
Wow.
Without lips.
You have no lips, for you must scream.
I'm gonna try and convince the wind to play it for me, I guess.
Huh.
You could go.
You cast Gust.
Wait, exactly.
That's right. I cast Gust into the ocarina. Does it make sound, Sarah?
Uh-huh.
It makes sound. Yeah.
Alright. I'm gonna keep doing that till I figure out how to make music.
Cool.
After a few hours, Hattie is probably fully getting distracted and starting to like spend more and more time pulling his map out and like tracing the lines.
Okay. Welcome back.
Thank you.
All right then. As you're walking, even as distracted as you might become, Hattie, there is a figure who is sitting upon the side of the road who catches your attention somewhat, in brown and blackened robes with their hood pulled up as well. You vaguely recognize what this person is in a fashion. You've seen tenders before, and the person appears to be such and is laying out a blanket with some things that she is presenting. on this blanket off the side of the road.
Yeah, Hattie will call out. There's a tender ahead on the side of the road. It could be a trap, so it's best to look out for that.
What do you mean trap? Aren't they the druids that take care of the Scorched Grove?
Yes, but people can dress like one and not be one.
Yeah, figures.
Bandits.
Alright. Afternoon?
She lifts her head. She's a young Gallus woman, and she waves a talon to you all.
Where are you all headed?
I don't answer that question, instead look to Hattie.
Oh. You are not affiliated with bandits, and this is not a ruse, correct?
Absolutely not.
Haven't done bandit, right, Hattie?
I mean, probably, but you never know. Seems fine.
If you're a bandit, you have to tell us.
If Hattie gets down, peers at her suspiciously, and is like, she's probably fine. Just nods and puts his hood back up.
She kind of waves you closer and says,
If you're headed out that way, I have some mixtures that might be good in the event that, well, there's been sparks and ember bats and other things attacking people on the road. These are good for relieving burns, if you need.
Oh, that would be very good.
We've faced a few of those ember bats, so your poultices might be just the thing.
Well, we are selling them naturally. It is expensive work spending as much time out in the scorched fields.
How much?
5 gold.
What quantity?
she holds out a measured packet, basically, which will do 1d4 plus 2 healing.
For the one packet, right?
Mm-hmm. But she has a few.
Mm. Hattie, yeah, we'll turn to Roderick and shrug.
Roderick will reach into his belt pouch and plunk down 10 gold.
I will also shell out 5 for one of these bad boys.
All right. She hands out these little packets to you all.
Thank you. Stay safe.
You as
Say,
well. Hopefully this helps you with your work.
Hey, any idea why the ember bats have become more prevalent along the road here?
We wish we knew. We've been, well, trying to recover the grove has been challenging as it is. Some of us fear that perhaps even our presence there has agitated the spirits such that... But many of us believe enough in our cause that little by little we should douse this flame.
Do you know of any weapons or tools which are particularly effective against fighting things like ember bats? Or the fireflies?
Unfortunately, we don't make a habit of fighting the spirits of the flame.
I suppose running is also good. Until you cannot run anymore.
That is true.
Hattie will shrug and like hop back up into the wagon.
You all stay safe.
I was just gonna say thank you for your.
All right. That is about the most exciting thing that happens on your first day of travel. And on the second day, are you all taking rations, or are you just eating glow crickets?
Rations.
Thank you. Yeah.
Glow
Yeah.
crickets? What?
Glow crickets.
No, I'm doing rations also.
All right.
I will eat a glow cricket.
Make sure you are tracking your rations then.
Yeah, I had 4 extra, so I'll just subtract 3 from myself for the one that I ate. And then 2 for the other 2 of you who ate one, since the last till the evening. Or I should say to the afternoon at whatever time I cast them.
Hey, not bad, Hattie.
Oh, well, they are not meant to necessarily be good or bad. They simply are. You will
Well,
not
then
go
it's doing
hungry.
its job.
I am told that they taste like not much of anything.
It's the texture that gets you.
Oh, yes, I find the legs challenging, but it is good nutrition.
It helps if you solve them whole.
Oh. Huh. Is that easier to do with a beak?
I assume. I've never eaten one without one.
You see Hattie like touch his mouth for a second and like squints and is like, huh. Can you whistle?
I can,
Huh. That's interesting. I do not know what you can do that I cannot, except maybe fall slower.
nah.
Cyril kind of like glances at Vendi and then glances back at Hattie before just like looking down and going back to pulling the cart.
I don't make a habit of falling, but I know that I wouldn't fall too hard if given the chance.
Huh. You are, very strong. Were you born very strong, or did you lift heavy things a lot?
You know, I never realized I was this strong until I followed with y'all. Mostly I guess it's carrying kids for so long.
Oh, that must have been a lot of children.
Oh, it's been plenty. Never had to test my strength until now.
How many children do you think you could lift at once?
Well, I guess wherever we stop next, we should test that out. But my max so far has been 5. That's all I can
Oh,
fit in my wings.
were those birdfolk children, or
Oh, oh no, I don't stage to one specific race. Any
they are
child I can
lighter?
take care of.
Huh. That is very impressive.
Oh, thank you.
Hattie just goes back to like humming and like tracing lines on his map.
Cluck is contemplating how many children she could carry if they were in this cart. And if that counts.
Ooh,
There are so many times I'm like, well, that got away from me.
That's Hattie for you, right?
I mean, it's a fair question. Cluck is very strong. Cluck,
She
as
had no
far as
idea.
Hattie was aware of, Cluck is a person that Hattie has seen tending to children occasionally. This is not a strong person to make.
Yeah, that's fair. not not a lot of like manual labor in that one.
Like, Gladys throwing nails, that checks out. Roderick poking people with a pointy sword, that works. Vandy doing like cool stick tricks and and doing bow and arrow stuff, that's good.
I don't know if you've ever chased kids or thrown them into the air, but that's hard work.
Yeah,
I mean
That'll
it's
make you
hard.
stronger real quick.
Yeah. Cluck has thrown a child into the air 1,000 times until she's developed superhuman strength.
She
Yeah,
bench
just-
presses children.
No,
Yeah, you
see,
also
and,
have, like-
and the rage is all the patience that she has with kids
Yeah.
and having to like contain it and let
Oh,
it
I
out
flavored it more as like
elsewhere.
I haven't done it yet, and I don't know if I'm necessarily going to do it, but I was supposed to start all my rages with my babies. It's a very, the strength comes from her will to protect people
Right.
around her, not
Yeah,
whatever.
I'm sure you have. I'm sure you've done something adjacent.
Yeah, very much a mom lifting a car off her baby kind of deal.
Hell yeah.
Oh, hold on.
Cluck, master of super adrenaline.
Okay. As it is getting near the end of this travel day, you kind of begin looking for different places you could possibly stop and rest. There's maybe an inn within a small village, not a few miles out still. But there's a couple locations off the side of the road that look like they're appealing. And one such place has a very lovely, like, springing fount of water, like a fresh spring that runs a little creek down the path down the road as well. That seems very pleasant and interesting. Up to you guys what you'd like to do. If you'd like to spend money in a town or camp off the side of the road.
Well, you know what my vote is?
I would prefer to camp.
Oh, no, not that one.
Yeah, I suspect this is not the group consensus.
Right.
I'd like to camp.
Well,
Miss Eliza, what's your plan? I feel like at least some of us should help you make sure your wares aren't stolen.
I would camp in the wagon. That's excellent.
There is always a chance that someone may steal from the cart, whether in town or out of town.
Yeah, that's fair, but I'm sure that there springs the right place to get ambushed by bandits. We know it's there. Doesn't leave. Travelers come through, camp next to it 'cause they think it's good.
Sierra, while you're
say-
kind of looking at it, it begins to steam.
Huh. That's something.
The wagon is steaming?
The fountain.
Creek.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense. I mean, it doesn't, but
Makes more sense than the cart.
the thing that we've been walking with all day suddenly, like, smoking. Yeah.
We blew the radiator.
Don't worry. I can spend the night with the cart. I need to. Hopefully the clouds will go away. I'm a few days behind.
I'd like to take a couple steps
Okay.
closer to this steaming fountain.
Okay. It is. It feels a little warm as you're getting close to it. You can see the steam rising.
Do I see
It's
anything in the steam?
nothing necessarily, but you start as you're getting closer. It looks like the water's starting to boil.
We may have a bit of a problem here. I don't think the water is supposed to do that.
Yeah, it might be that is the Scorchbear's increasing influence. It's not bringing down the water. We should probably not stay here.
We should probably carefully watch from a distance.
The bubbling water begins to roll a little bit in this little pond. As you are. Huh?
Nothing. Roderick.
Oh.
Yes,
As you're watching.
further away, perhaps.
Yeah, let's start moving down the road and watch from a safe distance.
Yeah.
If there are other people around the fountain, Roderick will start shouting at them to get back.
There's nobody else around. The steam suddenly starts to take forms, little shapes, which don't seem like anything at first until they are suddenly whole creatures, very small figures with sharp pronged claws and long faces and floating in the steam. I'm going to move a couple of you around based on what you said. Which about right there. I'm going to roll an initiative as some methods take solid form and begin hissing and spitting steaming, boiling water in your direction.
Elementals are objectively cool.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I agree. I thought this was some special Humblewood thing that I didn't know about that Lily was read up on, of course, and she was like, yeah!
Nah, I wouldn't read monsters for this module. I want to be surprised.
Fuck yeah.
I was hoping they were custom steam elementals, but steam methods is still good.
Well, they're custom tokens for some reason that I can't
That's right.
persuade the system to let me
And it
not
says,
use.
It says steam method.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Steam fit.
descriptive, baby.
When the methods come out of the fountain, it just says file image. in the
Yeah,
It's just
I'm
like the
gonna-
blank purple and white texture over the shape of a method.
Fuck yeah. I should replace my character token with just a bold typeface that says Fendi on it.
I'm just gonna warn y'all, there's gonna be a lot of this in
I love it.
Humblewood.
I'm enjoying it. It's funny every time it comes up, so.
Yeah, the giant toad really felt weird.
They have art for these! What are they doing?
This is non-licensed is probably why they can't use
Oh, they
non-
can't.
A big
that's
part of it is
funny.
also
Yeah.
they have the module all set, so you can just buy the module and then just play D&D with just what comes in that pack. So when I added the pack to the game, it didn't let me use all of the stuff I already owned that has art.
Weak.
He does it with Saltmarsh too. Alright, Roderick is up first.
Well, I don't much like the look of this, and I will back up, pull out swing the hurdy-gurdy that's on his back around, and I will cast Vicious Mockery at that one.
Okay.
Rocking my D4 damage, fuck yeah.
I rolled a 13 though.
Hey.
I do my 1 point this time, thank Oh, I'm dumb. They're perfectly arranged for a freaking fairy fire. Oh well. I will. Do I not see Gladys? Oh, Gladys is up front. Gladys, you better be careful up there. And I will. Okay, I don't need to keep clicking that. 'Cause that's huge. I will vertically inspire Gladys. It's a D6.
Yep.
You play a bard. Adam, you.
Okay, Hadley, you're up.
Yeah. On the one that got vicious mockery, and I'll back up to here. Hattie pulls out his map and like runs a finger along one of the lines, and as they do, it starts to faintly glow. And Hattie like takes a big like in breath as this like looks like starlight kind of filters in through his nostrils. And then he'll hold out a hand and throw one of these. It will miss, but it will look cool.
Yeah, it missed, but only barely.
You see, like as like Hattie throws it, Hattie like stumbles backwards, and it like goes high, and you hear, "Huh? Okay."
All right. Then it is Vendy's turn.
Hello. I'm going to walk. It hurts to talk. Right here.
Everything good?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm eating delivery food, and I did just eat a whole ass pepper without looking at it.
Oh.
My mouth hurts.
Dum 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 dum.
I'm going
Cluck
to.
had that problem last week.
Yeah.
Hey-oh.
I'm gonna hit this guy, or try to. Got one back there.
Wow.
Oh, that will hit.
Great. 5 piercing damage.
Okay.
I'm gonna action search
Okay.
and hit him again.
Hard in the paint.
Uh-huh. Okay. 2 arrows fly and pierce through and shake the form of this steam mephit.
That's it.
Okay. Gladys?
I will take aim at the same one and chuck a nail.
That'll hit. Right. 7.
How do we
is-
always roll minimum damage on our crits? What the fuck is up with that?
I feel like it's a roll 20 thing.
It's a thing I see very frequently. A lot of it is it just looks like it looks worse because the secondary die by itself looks pathetic. But it is also a D4 that he's throwing, so.
And I will dive in the bushes and bonus action hide.
Great.
There it is.
Let's get a stealth check from you.
Mm-hmm.
We have a rogue now, guys.
Oh, Jesus.
Shit.
Fucking
Can you
World
save
of
some for the
Warcraft
rest of
rogue
us,
noise.
please? Alright. I'm gonna run up, bonus action rage, and recklessly attack.
Excellent.
That's my first one.
That'll hit.
Oh,
Which
sorry,
one
I'm
are you
hitting the
hitting?
one. Yeah, excuse me. I'm
The
hitting.
wounded one?
Yeah,
God.
and then also I forgot to put my rage on, but whatever.
All right, you whiff through that one, and it turns into what is it? It's just a mulched fire racket. Sieved is what it is. It is sieved.
Sieve.
Noise.
All right, and that's it for your turn.
Mhm.
Okay. Then one is going to dive forward, and the other is going to take a big gulp of air and then blow hot steam into your face.
Me.
Cluck,
Oh.
cluck, and also, I'm still learning these names. Sierra and Roderick and Eliza. I need those three to make
Eliza's not in
dexterity
the
saving
mix,
throws.
by the
That
way.
is correct.
Okay.
Does my danger sense work here?
It does.
I remember Sierra because it's one letter off of Zira. All right,
yeah,
go on.
It's almost Zira and it's almost Sarah. It is a struggle.
I'm sorry. It was Cody's fault.
That one
it's
is
all
my
Cody's fault.
I did just find a randomly generated name that was very good.
It was
and
very good,
said
and
June.
yeah, I was
think
very
that it was
close. I was thinking that it was close to 0, like
I
last
didn't
session.
think so
I was
until
like,
literally
oh
just
boy.
now.
Also, oh goodness, this isn't an attack, right? This
No.
isn't an attack. Okay, cool,
Yeah.
great, cool,
Dexterity
cool.
saving throw.
Is this a spell technically?
No.
Yeah, okay.
Ability.
Everybody saves. So everybody takes 3 points of fire damage.
Did Eliza also save?
She did. And is going to, with her incredible dexterity, roll away. And then it is Sierra's turn.
Yeah. I don't exactly like that. So I'm going to go ahead and
That hits.
yeah.
Okay. Is that it?
And then yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. Then Roderick.
Roderick will pull out his rapier and sort of circle around. 5 and try to stab this time.
An 11 will hit.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
Jeez.
All right, that one nearly skewers that one all the way through.
I will just say, Vandy, make sure to finish that one off, Cluck. And that's another bardic inspiration.
Okay.
And that is it.
Then Hattie.
I will Starstone that one.
Okay.
I will miss.
Again, it's another 2 for you.
Again.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
All right, Bendy.
I am going to do as I was told and fire on that creature next to Cluck.
That hits. Oh, 12. Let's get hit. All right, is that it for your turn?
Yep.
And Gladys.
Alright, I am going to chuck a nail at the one by Cluck.
Okay, you have advantage. There is just blackness and a little and an impale and roll damage. And that one falls out of the sky.
And I will hide.
Alright. Great. Cluck.
Excellent. So I will
You
go to
mostly
this
just saw one of them just drop out of the air.
one. Head up and again, recklessly attack. This is super fun. Love this. 24.
That hits.
9 damage.
And that finishes off that one as well. Congratulations.
I would like to go investigate the source of water these things came out of and see if I can figure out what is going on.
All right. The water is no longer boiling. It is still steaming and hot, but it has visibly cooled since they have left.
Well, I guess these creatures were just hiding in there waiting for the next passerby.
Would seem that the energy from that scorched grove is making its way farther and farther.
It is not good. Do we think they will come back to this particular fountain?
I wouldn't put any luck on it. It's a great time.
I think I could remove all the water. Or a lot of the water.
I think the water is probably not the issue. With those creatures gone, it might go back to normal. These people are gonna need a source of water. I think more this is just there's nothing really. With Ashborough gone and the tenders stretched thin on that grove, it sounds like more and more things are just making their way out. We dealt with these, but there'll be more. Whether they'll use the fountain or not is separate.
Yeah, and I think our safety's with more than 2 silver. Right? Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys can pull off to a smaller town off the road, a little ways, and spend 2 silver to spend the night in an inn.
Hattie will stay out with the wagon and try to get glimpses of the stars when they come out through the cloud coverage.
All right.
Hattie, I don't know how safe it is to stay out here by yourself.
Well, someone has to watch the wagon.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I guess you didn't understand. I just thought it wasn't safe for you to stay out here by yourself, so I figured I'd stay out here with you.
Oh, yes, that's fine.
Very well, then.
I see no
Hey, what's
reason
that
for you.
one?
Oh, you can stay out here too. I might talk to myself just a little. I've been told, I should not mutter as much, but it is helpful for thinking.
Well, doesn't really bother me. Cluck and I converse. Will that bother you?
No.
Ah, very well then.
If you have any questions, yeah.
Why is he so interested in stars?
Hattie leans back and you see he opens up the star map as far as he can with his arms and is basically has it draped over the front of him and seems to be looking at it and then looking at the sky and occasionally jotting down notes with charcoal on a notepad to the side.
Cluck's gonna kind of lean over to try and look at the map, make heads or tails of it. What are you doing?
Oh, this is my star chart.
Where'd you get it?
I made it.
Oh, what made you want to do that?
Uh, hmm. Well, I've always wanted to do it, so I did it.
It's a good story.
When I was little, I would look up at the sky, which we're not always supposed to do, but I was very interested in the stars and tried not to look too much at GC trails off. Yes, I was very interested in the stars, and then uh, I found it. I preferred to spend my time looking at them, and then that became wanting to know more about them. They have patterns and behaviors. It's very interesting.
Never particular. I I've never particularly cared for the heavens myself.
Oh,
But after seeing what you can do, maybe it'd be worth paying attention to.
why would you not care for the heavens?
I've never cared to think about it. I've been concerned myself with what's around me, not what's above or below, for that matter.
Oh, but it's hmm. That makes sense, I suppose. But the best thing about them is that they're always there. Things down here change sometimes, and they don't change, but they can move a little.
Hmm, it's nice.
Hmm.
Kleck will spend the remainder of her time both looking up at the sky and then kind of like double checking the star map.
Yeah,
Again,
occasionally
not
Hattie,
understanding any of it.
occasionally Hattie like follows your line of sight and like points out the names for some of them.
Okay. Everybody take their long rest and put a smiley face in chat when you're done. Okay.
Right.
And then you can all get back together and head out for the next day. And on your walk, again, the roads are more crowded the farther you go, but there are still long stretches of what feels like probably hours at a time sometimes, where there are no other people, and all that there is the smell of smoke distantly, the light clouds above, and the lot of you in your own fashion. Mostly not talking, it seems like.
What's a backstory?
I mean, it's
Backstory's the thing you're making right now.
We also got like kick-ass music from the hurdy-gurdy.
And me blowing wind through an ocarina, probably tunelessly, about once every.
absolutely. It's
Yeah,
just
after
noises.
about like the second day of that,
That's way too long.
Do you know any other songs?
he's patient.
Do you know any other song besides?
Vandy, if I may, I picked this up from Eliza. Maybe I should teach you how to use this instead. It doesn't require It doesn't require your lips, so this shouldn't be a problem, and it's still a wind instrument after a fashion, and he will hold out the concertina.
Mhm.
The wind likes this one. Woo!
How do you know the wind does and doesn't like? It is the wind.
It is apparent, no?
I don't understand the question there, Hattie.
Vendi said that the wind likes it. I did not know if that was a figure of speech or literally referring to the wind.
The wind is a companion and friend to most of us.
Roderick
More
gives a
than
look like
others.
that should be apparent.
But it is the wind.
Though it is also capricious.
Ah,
Careful.
the wind is a he. That is interesting.
It's tricksy. Be careful. Or he will take things you like and secret them far away. Bendy
I
grins.
this is a figure of speech, but also not.
Hattie, just yesterday we fought creatures made out of steam, and
Mhm.
we've dealt with bats that are on fire. You and I have seen a creature made of fire in
I
that
do not
vision.
want to talk about that.
You don't think that there are similar things for the air around you, the water you drink,
Oh,
the earth you're walking on?
well, there is the rhythm. We're all taught, but if you refer to maybe creatures made of uh air, um, that
No,
seems sensible.
no, no.
Or
Well, I mean, there are creatures made of air, but the air itself, why would that be any different?
The wind
because
is
it
a
is
grand traveler and an excellent marksman. And it
is
is from the wind that we have earned our right to walk the earth and fly the sky. You are unfamiliar with the tale?
no, but I I did not know that the wind was believed to be a god. That is interesting.
Can
Uh,
I
Roderick gives Vendi a very confused look.
I also look confused. The wind is no more a god than you or I.
There are things all around us, Hattie. Some people call them spirits. Some people call, well, there's all kinds of names for them. It just, well, when you are, hmm, I, I, I don't really know how to explain. This is,
I know of uh forces and the wind is a force, but ascribing motives to the wind is interesting.
It is alive, like the earth, like you. And it likes this ocarina. She shrugs. Ooh.
Hmm. Okay, this is a religious thing. I understand. Thank you for sharing.
Fendi looks displeased with your conclusion, but does not speak further on the subject.
Now, Vendi, the wind may lack that instrument that you're having him play, but perhaps for the sake of the rest of our traveling companions, you can leave that one to the wind and wait. This raises a. Vendi, didn't you
Vendi,
give Miss
please.
Susan?
Vendi, please, for the sake of my ears, try the concertina.
Wait, hold on, Vendi. Didn't you give Miss Susan a set of panpipes for that ocarina?
May we? I never gift of the wind. He
Okay,
likes to
but
play.
how did you play the panpipes?
I did not.
Oh, you left those to the wind also. I see.
Oh, that is why you liked the tune just then. I have wondered privately.
The wind that likes to play. So he has no hands, so when he tries to play by himself, it flies away.
Uh-huh. That makes sense.
I demonstratively hold out the ocarina to make it make the tuneless noise again.
Vendi, please, listen. No one's trying to take the ocarina away from you. No one's saying that the wind shouldn't play it. All I'm asking is that maybe for the next hour or two, you put the ocarina away and try a different instrument for the love of Hanera, please.
Okay.
I need Roderick and Gladys to make dexterity saving throws.
Nice.
Oh, bullet time.
As you are all taken by the wind, there is a snap and pull as there is a long net that is thrown across the road that sweeps up from one side and begins dragging a large section of this stretch of path up and to the side and to one tree. However, the two of you manage pretty handily, actually, to avoid the trap. Now I need a dexterity saving throw from Syrah.
Gotta get up early to get one over on me, wind.
I will not anger him. He likes storms.
Oh, crumbs. Oh, wait, sorry, wrong thing.
No.
That's initiative. Not yet. Saving throw.
Wow.
Wow.
Now
Okay.
hold on. Now hold on. That's the same roll.
It is.
It's the same roll. You got your 12. I was like, you're a cleric. You don't have proficiency in this. This is just gonna be what
it's
it
just
is.
gonna be a flat 20. Yeah, it is. Damn.
Which means there is a yank as she is pulling the cart, as the cart is thrown to the side, and there is a huge shift in weight as Hattie is knocked off of the cart and Cluck is knocked off balance, and Syrah is pulled up into a tree a good 10 feet up and away. Just as the brush on the other side of the road begins to rustle, and a crowd of Gerbeans bounds out with little swords and knives.
Jesus.
Look at that little gentleman.
Yeah.
You
So
fuckwits.
fucking adorable.
Alright, let's get into initiative.
They may be adorable, but they're about to fuck our whole shit up right now.
Absolutely not. I will not let them. I will
Or-
not let them.
You've already
Why
let
the
them.
fuck
You're in a
your shit
tree.
I am a caster. Shut up.
What do you call being halfway up a tree but defeat?
Huh.
I call it about to fucking spellcast on these idiots.
Is this a riddle? Look at this little powerful gentleman.
This gentleman is actually, for all their appearance, possibly actually female, but still wearing a staggeringly wonderful hat and an eye patch, a band over one eye, and a notched ear.
Iconic.
I love it.
Too.
Second, almost done.
Finally, the Panrin reboot we were all clamoring.
What a wild thing to
Panrin
say.
2, Master of Boogaloo.
You know,
I feel like that's vaguely insulting to this Jabin.
Wow.
I liked the original series Panrin. He was very fun. He was very flirty. He was very exciting. But we really didn't stick to the landing on the end of season. There, we kind of became a big piece of shit and then died. So we're rebooting him, but this time he's female and also a cute mouse and also confident.
Oh my
And
god,
also
we
won't become a
recast
big
him.
piece of shit and then die. Presumably. I mean, if this fight goes well enough.
Cody and Adam understand that he's been recast.
Roderick is up.
Roderick will take a look at this Jabin and flick his own hat. Say, well, I do have to compliment you on your accessories, but I'm also going to have to kindly ask you to release our friend and go on your way. I will. Now I can get. Yep, I will go ahead and Roderick will pull the hurdy-gurdy around, and I am going to go ahead and I'll go. I guess it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to say all that and then put him to sleep, but we'll go for it anyway.
Roll those dice.
20.
Oh, okay.
That's my second
Wow.
sleep that has not even managed to hit average. All right.
Well, fortunately, it does immediately knock out the two behind them.
Exactly as planned.
She flicks a little rapier out towards you and nods up at your apparel. Salter Sport.
You have a fine eye. We can all just call this no harm, no foul. Have ourselves a little sit down. That's it for me.
Oh, we could. And then she sharply whistles as the one over here bounds forward, leaping with over their companion, and in air drawing a dagger. Okay, let's see. And catching you in the shoulder, Roderick, with a 22 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit. Jeez, I don't make characters with AC, you know this.
Or 6 piercing damage. Okay. And
I don't
then...
know why these are not tied together.
Is it your token?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's fine.
This again.
No, the sheet and the token are working fine together.
Okay.
It was just D&D Beyond was linked to the thing.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why. It's fine.
Okay,
I'll
that's
just
good.
use roll 20. It's fine.
Okay. Cluck, it is your turn.
She is going to turn to look at this one and say, I assure you, for the sake of your companions, you're going to want to listen. Bonus action rage. Recklessly attack the one who hit Roderick. 20.
That will hit.
14.
14 points of damage. Actually knocks that one unconscious.
Tight. And then I'll look back at that one. I don't know if I have eyebrows, but one of them would be raised.
chickens have eyebrows.
Yeah, what?
There is certainly some what's the word? Shock and surprise, and a look of just someone who is deeply impressed. Actually, as they step back and kick awake companion back here, and then what's your perception? Whistles to them as well. Let's see. Okay, it's their turn. Then it is Hattie.
Yeah, first things first, I'm going to clamber up, like, kind of on top of the wagon. Since it got knocked over on its side, right? And sort of just dumped me on the ground. And then I will actually do the thing. Hattie to like pull his map out slightly wider, like muttering to himself in Mapak, and like draws a like set of lines and mutters a comment, okay, more this time. And like takes a huge like intake on breath, and with it comes the starlight, and I'll use my wild shape to do starry form. I'll use
Never do that again.
First time so everybody can look at it, and then it goes into a drawer.
Alright.
And then I'll use the bonus action from that to throw a bolt. At the let's say the manger.
Okay, that will miss.
Yeah.
Says
Assuming
activating
that
your
was a
starring
bonus
form is a
action.
bonus action.
Is it?
But it is a bonus action, yeah. And you get to use the things when you do it.
Huh.
That's neat. Because, like, a
I
lot
thought
of
it
the
was
others
an
take your action.
Okay,
Oh
yeah,
no,
the
it's awesome.
attack did not happen then.
It's when you activate
never mind.
the form
It's
as
when
well.
you
Yeah,
activate
okay.
it, so you do get it, but you
Which
still have an
means-
action to use.
Yeah, you've still got an action.
Wow, that is super good.
Yeah.
Okay, then I guess for my action I'll cast or try to cast Fairy Fire on this square over here.
Okay.
Huh. It's good that I linked it that one time and never again.
Let's see. Dex. And... Open your sheet.
They're probably pretty good at Dex.
They are very good at Dex.
Those springy little friends.
One of them's asleep, so
One
you
of
know
them
you're
is
probably
asleep, though.
probably getting that one.
I got that guy.
You got that one and only that one.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
One's better than none.
Well, that one's asleep. You are...
Hey, he probably won't be asleep forever, question mark. I'm going to step up to these fools and draw my rapier. You should probably stop them. And then I'm going to try and lash out at this woman with my rapier. I did an 8. That's not good.
Yeah.
Might as well action surge now before I die. For an 11.
That will also miss.
Great.
She parries your jabs effortlessly.
I look disheartened and say I should probably stop running. And then end my turn.
Gladys.
Gladys was eyeing up enemies and then just sort of senses this brighter light from behind her and looks over her right shoulder and, what the fuck is that? And we'll run up here and try and jab a nail right in this fool's eye patch.
Oh, that's
Ew.
gruesome.
Yeah.
Why?
Hell yeah.
Oh, that is just me. Don't worry.
That's a miss.
And with my
It gets
bonus
the other
action,
eye.
I'll do it again. Let's see here. I actually don't have one without my dex bonus on it.
So
But
it's a 20 still.
yeah, that's a 20, so
Yeah.
I'm guessing
All right.
a 20 will hit.
Uh-huh. The 20 hits, but as you attack her, she riposts, and will reduce some of that damage.
Okay. Sneak attack does stink. Alright, that's it.
Alright. And it is Syrah's turn. You're in a net.
I am.
Tree.
And I don't have a way to get out of the net, it turns out. I was kind of hoping that Hattie would help me out of here. I put my hope in the wrong person.
Well,
Shade.
to be fair, you didn't ask.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. Despite seeing me get whipped up in a net, I don't expect Hattie to help.
How do you assume
Damn.
Sierra's very confident?
Yeah, sure. What the fuck's the range on this? Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. Sierra's gonna go ahead and guiding bolt meter. Fuck me, really?
Yeah, we've been having
Guys
those
are doing
Join
fucking
me.
great.
God.
You're
No,
also
I won't.
restrained, so it would have been, yeah.
Would it have been? It's a spell attack.
Yeah, because
while you're restrained.
you're bound. You are in a net. Alright, cool. Right,
Sorry, and then bonus action will probably be I'll go ahead and Veil of Dust myself as a bonus action and yell at Hattie. Hattie, a little help here. I don't have anything sharp on me.
I'll chew it, maybe.
You wouldn't have been able to cast that as a bonus action because you already cast a leveled spell.
Right.
Yep.
Bonus action casting is kind of wonky.
Yeah, you can't do it if you cast it, not a cantrip.
There is. Right, the one conscious bandit who is next to you, Cluck, swipes out at you with a scimitar, but misses. And Syrah, you hear a growling from the tree below, or like from the foliage beneath you in the tree, as a wolf steps forward. For all intents and purposes, as it appear a wild animal.
Cool. That's fine.
Is going to jump and leap at Hattie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, with a natural 20.
Okay.
Oh, wait, never mind. That's only towards myself. Sorry.
For a total of 12 piercing damage, and you need to make a strength saving throw.
I will do this as a reaction, although it's not going to help that much.
Wait, sorry. Oh, no. Never mind. Yeah.
Alright.
But I do need to take first the strength. Well, let me see how much it's reduced by.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh,
Wow.
a veil of starlight begins to momentarily obscure and blind the beast, but it still cuts through and slashes out at you. And make your strength save. And then lands on top of you with its snarling mouth over your face. Right. And it is Roderick.
Roderick,
I need help.
I'm coming. Cluck, you got this one. And I will go ahead and, since Cluck is the only one that's actually hitting, I will give Cluck a Bardic Inspiration die. 15. Can I see the rope that has Sierra up?
Make a perception check.
I'm not being quiet about it. Oh, wait. Like that's
No, yeah, no.
No, it's part of. I'm looking for part of the trap to see if I can cut you down. But
right.
You do. You also see the glint of something that is also in the tree. The rope is a suspension that goes towards the back of the trunk, like threads through the branches.
so nowhere around here for me to cut it.
You'd have to go around the tree,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm already next to this wolf, so that's a bad idea. Miss Lazzy, you better get somewhere safer than here, and I will go ahead and try to stab this wolf.
18 should hit the wolf. It does.
For 8 piercing damage.
Right. Good hit. Yelps. That's not
Go on, get out of here. And I don't.
Please go away.
Patty's getting like dribbled on. Stop,
The-
please.
The glint within the tree brightens some as more pests drop down.
Ah, I was thinking it was like a pulley. I didn't realize it was people. Oh, well.
Okay, all right. Where are we at? We've got one up with Vendi. All right, and a 13 to hit Vendi.
That's not gonna do it.
And a 19.
That one will hit.
Hey, that'll be 5 piercing damage. And a 20 to hit Hattie,
Mm-hmm.
and an 18 to hit Hattie as well. 2 attacks.
Mm-hmm.
First for 6, and then for 4.
From
It's one over here.
Oh.
And it's on top, but it's just causing him to be prone. And then a 13 and a 20 for Roderick.
20 will hit.
Okay, for 3 piercing. And there is a sudden tug on the rope that is holding you up, Sierra. And you hear a voice above you and nearby just say, "Oh, familiar. Wonder what you're all doing out here."
Is it what's her face?
I swear to God, June, if you keep forgetting her name.
I will forget this dumb idiot's name until I bash her skull
Her
in.
name is Frey Meriden, and she's the most charming person we've met in this game. And I swear to God, June, I will come to
She'll be
the
more-
place you live.
She'll
Oh,
be
son
more.
of a bitch.
She'll be more charming when she's in the fucking ground, and I will get her there.
I don't
She-
disagree.
Catches the net in her paws and pulls you close, and looks at you and says, "I don't know what you think you're doing, but I remember you." And then she strikes at you thrice with her dagger. With a 19, a 25, and a 13.
I am going to Ward of Shadows, one of those.
All right.
Or sorry. On the attack roll. What's disadvantage on the 19?
She actually has advantage to hit you because you're restrained, so it would just be a flat roll, which makes it the 19.
Cool. Sweet.
Okay, that is a total of 8 and 6, so 14.
That's unconscious. Cool.
And she cuts very swiftly over your face, and then plunges the dagger into your chest, and then draws it back, and then it is Cluck's turn.
Oh wow. I don't know that. I am going to. I don't know where to.
There's still a guy in melee with you.
Yeah, no, I'll take that hit. Fuck that guy. Really, way more important things happening over here than one singular guy. I can move to. Boom. I am gonna move to. Let's move to Frey.
All right. She is in a tree.
Okay, I'm gonna move next to Hattie instead then.
Okay, I got a 23 to hit you.
Yeah, that'll do it.
For 4 piercing.
So reduce to 2 or reduce
Reduced
to 4?
to 2.
Okay, cool. Dun. And then I will hit this one recklessly.
Okay. That hits.
20.
That one is murdered.
I imagine I'm trying to do non-lethal damage. Whoops. Oh.
Bong. A bong from God.
Well, that's what you get for hitting Hetty. And then since I still have movement, I will walk over their dead body.
Yeah.
Oh no! Wait! Actually, I can walk around to. I can walk through them, right?
Yeah, that is. You have to go over the part.
Over the cart. Okay, so I probably can't make it here. Oh, I can make it. I can make it here though, right? Next to Eliza.
How much movement do you have?
I moved 10.
You can go there. Yeah.
Cool. Tight. I'm gonna make my way right there and end my turn.
Okay. Right. On her turn, the fancy little Gerbine is going to attack Vendi twice with a 13 and a 23.
23 hits.
For 6 piercing, and then a dagger attack at Gladys with a 25
Yeah, that'll do it.
for 8. Okay, and it is Hattie's turn.
The wolf is on top of me currently.
You are prone. You would just need to be able to stand up. You can wrestle yourself away.
Okay. I'm going to action to disengage.
Okay.
Start scampering away. I make it like here, which isn't much better. But I will fire as a bonus action the starry bolt at the wolf.
16 is gonna hit. All right. It whimpers and is killed.
Everybody hears the fucking wolf in Mapak.
Okay.
Had a language.
Vendi.
All right, I'm gonna bonus action to second wind. If I can remember how to roll a d10. Oh, there we go.
Oh my
nice.
god.
And we're back up to full, baby. It's just that easy.
Fuck yeah.
I'm gonna stab the one on the ground.
The one asleep?
No, I thought better of that decision because I don't want to wake him up. I'm gonna stab the other one that is less hard to hit, presumably, than this flippy woman who has 3 attacks in a turn. Oh, it's a crit.
Hell yeah.
That's gonna hit. Alright, that's a good hit.
Where were my
I don't know, maybe they fell out of your pockets when you went up into a tree.
That's probably it. All my weighted die just fell out of my jacket pocket.
That's it for me.
Okay, Gladys.
What the heck? I am going to use a bonus action to cast Hunter's Mark on Miss Fancy Pants in front of me. And then I'm gonna try and jam a nail into the interior of her knee.
What?
Jesus.
Have I really made you that upset? 19 will hit.
Like Gladys is starting to play dirty.
So what is that? It's,
That was
17?
Yeah, 17.
Okay. Ooh. Alright. Okay. Sierra, make a death save.
I'm not too invested in this death save because I'm probably gonna get coup de grace right now.
That's one.
Alrighty, let's do it. Yep.
Oh.
F. There we go. And that's a dead Sierra. GG.
Alright, let's see. Leaping into the air and landing on, let's see. Here.
Ooh, sorry.
That's cool, Doug. You got the wolf.
I didn't.
He didn't.
That was my joke, Doug.
Oh, okay, fair.
'Twas I what got the wolf.
Yeah, I'm aware. You kind of handled it by yourself, didn't you? Huh?
No.
I was
be
trying
fair.
to save Hattie.
You got the bandit that was on me, so and Hattie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that one
20
did need to go.
A 20 to hit you, Vendi,
Yeah.
for 2 slashing.
Ooh, that's not
Oh, yeah,
bad.
see, we're fine.
Okay.
We're Gucci gang.
Fuck you, wolf.
Roderick?
oh boy, I still can't see how to get Sierra's dying body down. I don't suppose if I hop on the cart that I can reach her.
Probably not. No. If you were to go to the other side of the tree and, like, the other side of the trunk and cut the rope, that would get her down, but...
Yeah, that'd be bad right about now. So, yep. How high up in the air is she?
About 15 feet.
Okay, nothing I can do here. So she's already unconscious. I will go ahead and try to see if maybe I can be a slightly competent spellcaster, and I will cast Sleep so that I'm hitting. No, I'm just gonna hit the wolf or the Vulpin. I'm just gonna hit Frey and hope that this is enough.
Roll damage.
32.
Hell yes.
First
Fuck yes.
Shit.
Wow.
I mean, it's probably not
That's a
enough.
good
Don't
roll.
get me wrong, but that's
Oh God.
Oh, God.
Okay, so so we just need to leave. If she attacks 3 times and that's her thing, she's like level 14. We're out.
Good luck with leaving.
If she had 33 hit points, it would not do anything.
She has a bonus action. Dash. We are fucked. We can't leave. What are you talking about?
Well, we
she
can't
runs
kill her,
faster than we
so-
think.
When the spell does not take, he just sort of looks up at her and kind of gives a little salute with the rapier. You know, did I just mute myself? I think I just muted myself.
Nope, no, I hear you.
Nope.
No, you're good.
I accidentally jammed a bunch of keyboard buttons. He will make a... he will speak in Vulcan. That is yet another of the languages that I know. And say... It is Vulcan like you that are giving my wife a bad name. You should just, find something better to do with your wretched life. And... shit, that's all I got. No, I can... Gladys, when you are done with that one over here, Frey over here has some, has had the gall to return. And I will drop a Bardic Inspiration on Gladys. That's all I got. Low-level bards suck shit, I'm sorry.
Don't worry, Ted. We all suck shit. Except Doug. He fucking kicks ass.
Yeah. Fucking.
I mean, y'all at least, like, it's, yeah. It's fine, it's fine. That's it, that's for me.
Give me a couple more rounds. I'll run through this entire group.
God.
I'm kind of wondering if I could have even succeeded with sleep at this point.
Probably not.
Oh, I
Tell me I was off by 1. I'm just
Like
if I
that,
was,
8,
just don't say
16.
anything and just
no,
keep
I
going.
can't. I can't. I won't say a
24.
thing.
Just keep going.
32.
Yeah.
40. Your max is 40.
All right. We got an attack on. Actually, an attack on Vendi.
Yeet.
I got 2 attacks for Vendi, a 20 and a nat 20 for a total of 12.
Yeah, Sure, I'm glad I used my bonus action last time.
And a 17 and a 9 for Roderick.
17 will hit.
3. And then Frey is going to look down at everyone from the tree. See the corpse of the wolf. And she'll say, Bridgeward, maybe we let them go. And her blade catches the rope and Syrah drops. And fails another death save. And she then hops through the branches back farther into this tree and into the into the canopy. Cluck, it's your turn.
Yeah, no, turning to Roderick. Sorry, they need me. And I'll run that way. And hit this little guy right here. Obviously, recklessly. And
Holy
14.
shit.
God damn.
You are wait, this one, right?
Yeah.
All right, you are literally braining these things. These are
No,
little
it's-
mice. These are little mice. This one only had 6 HP total. This one got destroyed.
I love them. Please stop.
Yeah, I think that gift that I shared of the racket going through the jelly,
That was exactly
that's
what
pretty
I've been
accurate.
picturing
Me
every
too.
time.
And then I'll turn to the leader. I missed the name there. No, I heard it. It slipped already. I have no idea what it is. But you brought this on them. Remember that.
Oh, God.
Bridgeward is looking towards the tree where her
Thank you.
orders have just been given to her, and she is going to disengage and leap backwards 30 feet and away. However, I will leave them on the map as they have hunter's mark on them, I think, right?
They do.
Right, we'll leave that at just a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're 10 feet out still. And then it is Hattie's turn.
Hattie's going to scramble over and shove a good berry in, or I should say a glow cricket in Sierra's mouth. And then I assume that's an action.
June is mad!
Damn it!
And then I'm gonna hold up a hand as a bonus action and blast this Gerbine on the other side of Sierra.
Okay. That will hit.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
And
Hattie's
you
mad.
will burn a hole through its chest.
Am I up with 1?
Yep.
Yep. Apologies.
Yeah, I get it. Character and all. Fucking lame. Friends and shit. Who needs them?
Yikes.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm gonna make a rapier attack on the one I already stabbed.
The one you have already stabbed is dead. You gotta pick a new target.
No,
Oops.
it's this guy.
Oh, that one?
Yeah, I stabbed that guy a while ago.
Okay.
I never got to stab this guy. He came and stabbed me.
I think his HP didn't get
I did 12 damage.
12? Oh, okay.
Yeah, with
Alright,
a
then
crit.
roll the hit. Okay. Roll damage for that. He's dead. Actually. He's dead. Great. Gladys?
Where are you going, Miss Fancy Pants? Chucking a nail.
And missing.
Get to the tree line.
I will run down here. And is Freya gone already?
Yeah.
God damn it. Alright. That's my turn.
Alright. Sarah, you're back up with 1, up in a net, on the ground, bleeding from the face, and sore as hell.
That was
How much of my movement does it cost to get out of this net?
You gotta use athletics, or you gotta figure a way out.
It's like an action.
Yeah.
Ah. How far away is this? How far did Frey get? Just disappeared?
She's in the canopy somewhere.
Alright. I am going to go ahead and give my good old guiding bolt a good college try if I can. With the Gerbine that's running away.
Alright, it's 10 feet away, off the map as well.
Oh yeah, that's fine. It's 120 feet range.
Great.
Oh, fuck.
That's not it.
That's not it. I should have done sacred flames or something. Nope, that's 60 feet.
Yeah.
Oh well. Yeah, I'm just gonna fucking lie. Wait, is this Gerbine? No, that one's dead. Right next to me, right?
The one next to you is alive.
Oh. I thought Hattie blasted that one.
I blasted
did,
a hole
but
through it, I thought.
It's almost through.
Ah,
Very important.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
he'll be along
Yeah.
shortly.
It is Roderick's turn.
Roderick will go ahead and I just want to smash this dude with the pommel of my rapier.
Okay.
I'm not trying to actually. Basically a non-lethal attack.
Yeah, 22. Yeah. And then out. Putting an X over them, not dead. No, okay, that's everybody in initiative. Yeah, that's everybody in initiative.
I will go help Sarah out of her debt, out of her situation.
Okay.
I'm gonna go tie this sleeping fool up.
My protective anger just ripping it off. Are you okay?
let you die.
Yeah, Hattie is scampering up the tree to look for her, like as high as I can in this particular tree, looking across the canopy.
She
Yeah,
disappeared
why?
again.
Why? Everyone's dead.
Dead or down.
I didn't
Gotta-
mean to kill him.
I
They're
did.
they're very soft.
Why don't you leave?
Nobody's blaming you, Lady Clark.
Why'd you run?
I don't know. She looked down, saw the wolf, said something to her friend, and then took off.
If I have help out of the net, I'm going to go ahead and ask for somebody's sword or dagger.
there are plenty of swords or daggers on the ground at this
Great.
point.
I'm gonna
I'll hold out
scoop
my
up.
racket.
No, I'm gonna scoop up one of the Derbine's daggers or swords or whatever, and I'm gonna cut the head off the wolf and hold it with me. And just
Jeez.
limp after whoever is in charge. I guess I'm just gonna follow Hattie for now.
Yeah, Hattie is like at the top of a tree, like looking around. Like you could see him still in his starry form, like shining bright at the top of this tree we're by.
I need you to make a survival check.
Mhm.
All right. You can barely see the tufts of a white-tipped tail through canopy.
How far away?
A good 60 feet.
Uh, it's gonna be at severe disadvantage and cover, etc., but Hattie's gonna try to fire a guiding bolt in one of the places where it pops up. I don't think it will hit, but I will try anyway. Nope. That's fine.
It bursts in a shower of light near her, and you definitely catch her attention. But she
Mhm.
then vanishes.
Yeah. Now that she knows that she was visible. Okay. Yeah, Hattie'll stay looking for a long moment, like waiting for her to circle back and sneak again. If I don't see anything, then I'll slowly climb my way down the tree.
Yeah, it eventually becomes apparent she is in retreat.
Once I've got this little friend tied up, I'm gonna shake him awake.
Yeah, they wake up.
Hi.
Hello?
So what do you think we should do with you?
They kind of shiver in their bonds, and their ears flatten.
Oh, no time to be scared now. You're such a brave little character. Attacking people on the road. They're just going to and fro. Show me some of that nerve.
They don't move. They're tied up.
Your boss took off, and their boss took off. Just left you here in our hands. So I'll ask again, what do you think we should do with you?
Send me where you will. And they lower
All
their
right.
head.
I'll start making a noose.
Oh God.
Roderick will tie up the other one that we have unconscious as well. Miss Eliza, you've done this trip a few times. How much farther to a village or somewhere we can turn these folks in?
Perhaps another couple of hours.
Good enough for me.
You said anything about taking them in?
I did just now, right
She'll
right
walk
this
over.
very second.
To
Now you calm down, Tira.
what? Oh, I just want to hear what he says.
Well, nothing to say to me. Maybe I have something to say to my friend here.
And they look up. You're still flat. I can't hear you, June. Are you talking?
No.
Oh, there you are.
I'm just watching Gladys tie the noose on the tree.
I'm not tying it on a tree. I'm just making a noose.
Oh, you're just
Yeah, last time we
tying
had
it in your
survivors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, last time we had survivors, they were roped to each other to make it easier to transport them.
What is your name, bandit?
Walter?
Hmm. Why did you attack us?
Meriden recognized you.
What were her orders specifically?
She wanted to know what you were doing in the mock fields.
Funny way of asking.
Did she tell you if she wanted us alive or dead?
Not dead.
Hmm. That is fortunate for you. I'll turn to Roderick. I feel that we need to establish a dialogue with this bandit. Frey.
I don't know if that's really up to us, Hattie. That's the second time that they've, well, I suppose the first time that they've actually ambushed us. The first time we met them, they were attacking Miss Eliza here. I'm not against the idea, although I think you'll probably have trouble with a few of us, but
It is more that I am wondering if it is more valuable to let this one go and take a message back. Her continued pursuit of us is not productive towards our end. You saw the thing too.
That's a very good point, Hattie. It also saves us some time since we won't be dragging around two of them. That one can take this one when he wakes up. That's a good idea. That's a good idea, Hattie. Miss Clucks here, can the two of you get this wagon turned back over? We can get it packed back up and we can get moving.
Sure. Sooner the better.
Sure. Someone helps me skin this wolf.
I'll stick with the crate.
Vandy, can you help steer with that? And I will pick up this other Gerbine that is unconscious and take it over to the one that Gladys has.
I walk over to Sierra, unsure of how I'm supposed to help, and offer a knife.
I assume you have survival. That's all.
No, she has nature.
I got nature. I can tell you where the stuff is on the inside.
More than Roderick can do. So.
Hattie.
Actually, you're level 2 now, Roderick. You have Jack of all trades. You can help with every skill.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, okay.
baby.
I didn't know that you allowed that for Jack of all trades. I thought you still had to be trained.
I can help if you need it.
Great. I need a new coat. So survival with advantage because someone's helping me?
Mm-hmm.
Or do I just let them do it?
That would be up to you.
Yeah, I know, it's your flex. Get you a coat.
Yeah, I'll do it with advantage. Sure, why not? Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
Wow.
Rage is a good motivation.
Wow.
The cut under your eye, a long blade swipe that goes from just at your temple, like down your nose, burns and bleeds, and just makes you angrier. And you pull the hide from this wolf with more finesse and delicacy than you had anticipated, considering how pissed off you are. But this takes a while. This would be a couple of hours to skin a wolf.
Fine by me.
Yeah.
If the other people want to go, they can go. Mama needs a new coat.
Feels like a good time for a short rest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
We'll do a short rest. You guys can work on doing that. We'll take our 15. Be back at 40.
Okay.
And we'll do any wrap ups for this scene then.
Song of
I
Rest.
do have Song of
Hell
Rest
yeah.
now. So
Gasp!
an extra D6 at the end.
I actually needed that.
Ted, babe, you gave me the rest of my health back. I appreciate it. You're
Me
just
too!
You're like, Bard, this class sucks. And I'm over here like, Bard, this class gave me 4 hit points.
I remembered
That's
earlier
okay.
today that he did Song of Rest now, and I was like, oh, that's gonna be a premium in this campaign.
Lots
Oh,
of short rests out here. Lots of short
Yeah.
rests in this game so far. It's a good game to be playing a fighter in, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Wild Shape's back too. Pretty good for Druid.
Pretty good
I-
for Druid.
Is it back? I thought it was
Yep.
Long Rest.
Mm-mm.
Short rest.
Wait, Song of Rest is
An
It's
extra
a
D6.
at the end.
extra
It's-
D6.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at the end. It's not per hit die though. Sadly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a singular one, and it's only if you roll hit dice.
That's fine. Is it per person or is it just like
Yeah.
Everyone
he
gets-
rolls a dice? Okay.
Yeah.
Almost
Well-
full health. Yay. Yay me.
Gladys would also like to go through these dead bodies, but I don't know if you want to do that now or after we're back from the 15.
We'll do it when we get back, because I need to find
Cool.
something to eat.
Cool.
Don't.
Alright.
Walter, there was no insight check on that, but Walter is very lucky that the order was to take us alive.
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed like she wanted to just ask us what the fuck we were up to in the fields. I'm not sure why she changed her mind, though.
Yeah, I don't know why she changed her mind either. Because she was like, hey, you're familiar. I wonder what you're doing here.
I murked.
It may very well have been...
Yeah, I don't think the wolf was like a pet or anything.
No, I don't.
Well, I didn't fucking do that.
She might be clever enough to realize that we probably wouldn't have been cooperative if you had died and didn't have a way to stop you from dying.
Yeah, that would have been a non-starter.
I think she also is probably clever enough to realize that she will look weak in front of her men if she actively saves your life instead of just making up an excuse as to why this wasn't worth doing anymore.
I mean, but if she wanted to know, she could have just, like, you know, asked me.
I think that's another, like, toxic masculinity weakness thing among the bandits. I really don't think they, like, interact civilly with the outside world at all, and, like, any viewing of this could be construed as a break of rank of some kind. She seems to fight very hard to keep up appearances in front of her boots.
But she's just like, she just runs a lot. Like, she could have killed all of us.
That's true.
Like, that fight was so in her favor, she could have just killed us all.
My consideration is that she doesn't want to.
Yeah, but, like, she had me trapped. I didn't have a way to get out, really. And if I did, I wouldn't have gone far, and, like, the rest of you would have probably died by attrition. I don't know.
Probably.
I don't know if you're listening to me. She needs information from us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like she could have easily kept me, the captured one, alive. And
She couldn't have. She had no way to do that.
How?
That we know of.
That we know of. We
I
don't,
was in a
we
net.
don't know. I mean,
You were
Yeah,
also
couldn't
bleeding
get
to
out.
death.
you were dying.
Yeah, she had just stabbed the shit out of you, to be
Yeah,
fair.
see, that's the thing. Why did she stab the shit out of me if I was captured and, like, she wanted info? She could have just, like, bound me more securely to where I couldn't get out and left.
You're a spellcaster, though, and
You're a
that's a
spellcaster,
very
yeah.
difficult thing to do to a spellcaster.
Yeah.
Because if you can talk, which they need you to be able to do to answer questions, you can cast.
That's
Mm.
right.
Well, I don't have spell slots.
She doesn't have
She
that
doesn't
meta
know that.
knowledge.
Yeah, that's fair.
You were slinging a bunch of spells before, throwing
Yeah.
fucking bolts of light at her
She
guys.
also
like,
did not coup de grace you, which...
Yeah, she actively chose not to kill you, which makes me think that she probably just doesn't want to kill one of us because she knows we'll be uncooperative if she does that.
Or
Yeah.
that will be our whole campaign now. Is a fucking bandit, like, war
Revenge
quest.
quest.
That'd be pretty good.
I mean, I feel like we're gonna be not
getting
too
there.
happy with her.
Yeah, I mean, Vendi is not a fan of this person as much as I am, because she's, I mean, as most good land creatures are, just opposed to banditry. Not a chill thing to do.
This is a decidedly not chill thing to do.
Yeah, it sure is. I think she's just like a full-on bandit captain with some rogue features, which is pretty nasty.
Yeah. That's nasty.
It's pretty nasty. It's like a
Like,
level
if-
5 PC.
Eventually, we'll have a dialogue. In theory.
I think letting the bandits go is a good idea. And it's probably the fastest way to get to that dialogue in some fashion.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Hattie is taking them very literally, which is the reason they wanted to talk to us was to see why we were at the mock fields, and they did not want to kill us. So, fine, we need to resolve this somehow. We have more important shit to do than be dealing with the same bandit captain every, like, 3 days.
I love that track of thinking too.
It's just fine. Like, a Hattie would just as, like, likely just blast the shit out of this Cherubine and kill it. But taking them at their word and at face value, which probably shouldn't do, but whatever. You gotta have some kind of negotiation here. This is not a tenable position. Especially since one of ours almost died this time. Everybody, everybody who doesn't have a dagger, pick up a dagger in case of nets. We need to have one dagger per person.
You seen my show, Rosemary Time?
Yeah. Oh shit! You just showed your hand so hard. Fuck. The second you said it, I was like, oh.
The girl who plays
Uh
Rosemary, the lady,
huh.
I definitely had a crush on her as a teenager, which was very unusual.
Huh.
She's cute. She's a cute old lady.
You just wanted to be gal pals doing gal pal stuff
I
with
did.
gardening.
I did. I wanted to
Just
be in a junky old Range Rover doing gardening, detective work, and
Yeah.
solving murders. I
Just two
did
best
very
friends.
badly.
The
Yes.
best friends ever,
Yes.
for sure.
Yes.
Jackie and Wilson.
Yeah.
We'll steal Alexis to be detectives, right around picking up clues.
This is a good song. Alright, Adam.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, focus on and reflect on the bittersweet nature of youth hookup culture.
I'm here.
Alright. Cody's here. Doug, are you still here?
Yep.
Alright. June? Okay. Ted?
I'm here.
Okay. I'm sure she'll be here soon. Alright, so there are five daggers and 2 scimitars amongst the bodies. Many of the bludgeoned smears on the ground. Why did you say that? What?
Excuse me?
Lily, what the shit?
I envisioned a cartoon dog in the shape of a donut. And it brought me great joy.
And you thought you'd share with the class, and this is how you decided to present it?
Yeah.
I'm now realizing that this could have been misconstrued to be something very
You
different.
Yeah.
non sequitured into dog nut, and then woof.
Like, it looked like you said dog nut and then were immediately repelled by what you said.
I was imagining it doing a little.
That one blew my hair back.
I hate that it happened right after I said we were back. I do hate that very much.
Hey, at the moose boosh.
No,
Nice.
no.
It's like a dachshund that's curled into the shape of a donut and says woof.
Okay, alright.
But
Welcome back, June.
Sorry, there is something.
a dog
there is
ring
something.
or a dog loop.
Now we're back.
But that doesn't. It doesn't match
a
with
dug
the.
nut?
Dog nut.
A dug nut is challenging.
Stop saying dog
Nope, nope, we're not doing that. Nope. That's it right there.
I just took psychic damage.
Am I a real life bard that inflicts damage on other people with my thoughts?
Yes.
Yes.
This is a careless power.
Technically,
that I've used
if you
for
had
great
just
evil.
started.
You have never once used this power for good.
For good,
And we've known each
yeah.
other now for over a year.
Well, disagree. I've used it for good before, just never in your presence, because you're all good people. It all works the same. I can just do psychic damage to bad people like vigilantism.
I don't think it's vigilantes if you do it to everyone.
Yeah. See,
I'm the best at punching. I also punch the innocent. That means I'm a vigilante.
yeah.
It does. It's just not. It's about sample size.
Justice is subjective.
You can tailor the data to make you look like a vigilante.
That's no good. Hey, everybody.
All right. Gosh, we're back, I guess.
Okay, what's happening, gang?
We skinned a wolf.
Yep.
We're
We
getting that
rounded
cart
up
back up.
possession.
Uh-huh.
Got the
Taking a
cart up.
short rest.
Mm-hmm.
I am personally keeping 2 of these daggers. Does anybody else want any of this stuff?
It's all you.
I'll take some daggers.
I will take a dagger so I don't
I want-
end up in that situation where I cannot cut myself
Yeah,
down.
I want a dagger.
Yeah, that's a good
if
point. I
anything
probably
sets
should get a
somebody
dagger
free.
so I'm sharp.
Looks like
Okay.
I
I'll
don't
keep-
get a dagger.
No, it's fine. I don't need any of the
You know what, no.
daggers. I got more nails and spikes than I know what to do with.
I'll take tar instead of a dagger.
Okay, so who's taking a dagger?
Me.
Me.
Doug, you taking one?
Nope, scimitar.
Okay, you're taking a scimitar, so that means there's 2 daggers and a scimitar left. I will take those 2 daggers then, and we have 1 scimitar that we can sell in town.
Do we also sorry, who's carrying the potions and how many do we have?
Right now, I have 2 healing potions on me.
Okay.
If we have an extra scimitar, I could take it.
Great, yours.
Great. Might as well. In case I ever need a 2-weapon fight for any reason.
All right. On the road again.
Well, first we've got to
Oh,
deal
right,
with
right.
two Gerbine bandits. One of whom is still unconscious, I believe.
If they would have been... There's not a way that you can tie someone up without waking them, basically. Yeah.
I was only saying because he was at 0 hit points as opposed to a sleep.
Oh, that one, yes. That
Yeah.
one would be unconscious, yes.
Okay. Then Roderick will use one of the 2... God, I don't want to do this, but I don't want to use my spell slots either.
How about a glow cricket?
Yeah.
Good call.
Hattie will begrudgingly hand you a glow
Well, I'll
cricket.
use the one you handed me.
Okay.
I haven't used it yet.
Yeah.
Shove the glow cricket in this bandit's mouth. And then once they're up, well now, welcome back to the living.
Hello?
Your friend Walter here has informed us that your boss is looking to talk to us about something. So we have a very simple proposition for you. Choice is yours on whether or not to accept, although I highly recommend you do. You and Walter here are going to take the message back to Miss Frey. You are going to let her know that if she needs to talk to us, then perhaps the next time we meet, she can simply speak to us instead of trying to ambush this whole cart situation. You deliver that message, and we will let the 2 of you go now. Or we can take those nooses there that Miss Gladys is kindly making up. We can put them around your necks and march you to the next town. What do you think?
We can deliver your message.
Great, so you know where she is.
In a manner.
Why don't you share that information with us? We can deliver the message ourselves.
No.
Then how are we to trust that you're going to deliver our message for us and not just run off?
Because she wants to talk to you.
So you say.
Yeah, I'm inciting that particular thing now that Hattie isn't as hot-headed as before. Specifically the claim that she wants to talk to us. Yeah, Hattie will nod, say, if you speak to your boss, it would be our preference if they stopped ambushing us.
I don't speak for Frey.
Did you work for Frey, or did you work for the, or what was her name?
Bridgeward.
That's the one.
Bridgeward is her lieutenant.
And is it Frey, or is it Bridgewood that actually wants to speak to us?
Frey.
Well then, unless any of my colleagues have anything else for you, I suppose the two of you better head along back to Frey. Let her know that if she wants to speak to us, she can just speak to us.
Tell her that it would be our preference that we have been forced to take the stars from several of your type. I would prefer not to have to do this, but we can continue if she wants to move negotiations in that direction. Hattie's like looking over at the one that he like blasted through the chest.
That's what
That's
you
what I
say,
don't know.
Pebble Thrower?
What was that?
That's what you say, Pebble Thrower?
Yes. I would prefer not to have to kill any more of you. I find it distasteful. But when you try to take the stars from us, you have forced our hands. Tell her also that it was the pebble thrower that appealed for your mercy, yes? To let you go.
I don't think she'll quickly forget seeing you throw the first stone in the muck fields. But I'll say so.
Hattie will nod.
Just let her know we respond better to an invitation than an ambush.
Also, remind her that during each of these fights, I asked her to stop, or I was the first to ask for nonviolence.
I don't say anything.
I don't need them to.
Our sentiment is coming up. The cessation of bloodshed is our primary concern towards them.
Your compatriots here, these four. Is there, something specific you want done for them? Can make sure they see the next town, get a proper burial.
That is generous.
You confuse generosity with humanity. Or humane, my bad.
I don't think I do.
Whatever it is.
Sierra will help carry bodies and like wrap them up and stuff.
We have ceased the cutting of blades. There is no need for the cutting of words.
Just scoop them up in the jar, put them on the cart, give them a little pat. Hey, dude, you said it.
You're bandits. It's like an art object. Cottagecore, but horrifying. Wait, hags. I've described hags. Never mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's a new-
We're gonna like make jam jars out of
Oh.
bandits and like put like little cute little twine wrapped around them with like tags with the
Alright,
names.
unless-
Yeah, okay.
Unless anyone else has questions, Roderick is going to start removing the ropes from these two so that they can leave.
Love that.
I should play Circle of Spores and or a Warlock next time. Really lean into that whole hag life.
Phalok devoted to hags, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga. Found you this time. Saw your reflection.
Okay, those two then jump into the trees and flee.
What do you think the likelihood is they're going to pass any message along?
I'm sure they will. No reason not to, after all.
Quite likely.
They're gonna... Bosses are gonna wonder why they were let loose in the first place, so giving our message is about the only thing that'll answer that question in a way that makes their boss not wonder if they're lying, not wonder if they made a deal of some kind. Some other kind, I suppose. Don't really matter in the end, I guess.
They had a point in that I did throw the first stone at Frey. But she was trying to rob someone.
If I'm being honest, that did worry me a little bit, because that sounds more like it is something personal against you specifically, not us. I don't think that was a... I don't think that was a way of saying... I think that was more a threat to you directly, rather than a conversation.
That is fine. It is better to know where you stand with people. They are bandits.
And I'm sure if it was personal, Hattie would have to be scarred face.
Oh, let's get to town before the sun goes down.
Hey. With that, I'll start carrying the cart.
Oh, did you see when I breathed in the starlight? That was very interesting. Before the
that
wolf.
was wild.
Yeah, the wolf bit me, and then it was less exciting. But
Wait, was it the wolf fighting you that turned you into the starlight?
no. That was a secret I found. Normal helped.
So it's new.
Yes.
How do you feel?
It is very interesting.
Is it all?
It is exciting. Also, it means I am on the right path. You see Hattie like pulls his hood down and smiles as he opens up his star chart.
When we get into town, you'll have to show me that. More of what Lynn showed you.
Oh, this one is secret.
Nah.
I will show you, but out of the corner of your eye.
Sierra nods understandingly.
Yeah, Hattie nods.
All right. The closer you get to Alderheart, the denser the villages become eventually. Still somewhat off the road, so it takes time to get to them. And also, the more expensive they become. So, this next inn stay will be a gold unless you wish to sleep, again, off the side of the road.
Nope. Not Roderick.
Yeah, I'm good with the inn.
Perhaps some of us could room together?
Oh yeah, I mean, is that not the case? Because it should have been.
Are the ones who stayed with the cart before staying with the cart, or are we all going in?
Up to you guys.
How are you going to join us inside this time?
Cody? Cody?
Sorry, Puck started coughing like an actual fucking human from the other room. I just hear like, what the fuck? Like, Jimmy gets up to go investigate. I'm like, holy shit. Like, I walk in and he's just like squared up, like, like puking on the ground.
Oh
Always
no!
fun.
Yeah, given the event of that, Hattie is going to very begrudgingly go inside with the rest of
Yeah,
everyone.
I think that's a wise decision, Hattie.
Reference.
I can stay out with the cart if you like.
No.
I mean, you're in the city.
Yeah,
Cart
this.
like that, she's not gonna come and get us here. I do prefer that. Our friend's supplies are safe.
She stays out, I'll stay with her.
Is there a safe place to store the cart out here?
Not anything more safe than the night before.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Clock and I can stay out here.
I will stay out then as well. There is only merit to it if everybody goes inside.
Unless you're a specific target.
Oh. Then I would be bait, which is also informative.
Well,
Well, this ain't exactly the time to be baiting with half the party inside, though. So if. Well, I suppose we should all just stay out here. This is.
A conundrum.
No, sooner we get to Alderheart and drop off this cart. No offense, Miss Eliza, you've been wonderful company, and let's just we'll camp out here. See much sense if we're gonna have the bait outside for any of us to be inside.
Gladys starts setting up a tent.
Okay. Then you can all take your long rest, and be ready to go on in the next day. Yeah?
Believe so.
Okay.
I just have to do that to remind myself that it happened,
Gotcha.
so that you're aware that I recast it.
I appreciate it. Alright. So the next day, you can begin your way, your final day of travel, towards Alderheart. Is there anything I need to know that is happening today?
I am keeping my eyes peeled.
Yeah, I think we'll kind of all be doing that.
I'll be carrying the cart.
I'm going to play a new instrument.
Occasionally, we're to the tree line now, like in the forest, right? There's actually
Yes.
fairly tall trees.
At this point, you are definitely. I should have made it more clear, but you are within the forest now.
Yeah,
Yes.
every probably couple of hours, Hattie like scrambles up one of the trees to look across the canopy, just to, because now we've been attacked at least once from the canopy, and she moved very quickly, specifically across the canopy. So Hattie will occasionally just climb up a tree, look around, then climb back down and join the rest.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I don't. I was in the bathroom before we left, but if there was like a little general store, I would have liked to like get some salt or some supplies to like tan the leather, or
Oh,
rather tan
yes.
the fur, just so it doesn't rot on me.
Yeah.
Please and thank you. However much that would run me, I can pay it, and I'll do that on the road because I don't imagine you have to be particularly cool. Great. 3 silver even.
Good call.
Yeah, I don't want
That
to
would
forget
have
that.
been grody.
So that'll be my downtime activity.
When you are in the trees, Hattie, you see that most of these trees are still like somewhat populated, with buildings stuck to the outside, platforms built into the branches and things. They're scattered somewhat. These tiny perches, I mean they're more frequent now than what you were seeing beforehand. And you see many instances of bird folk gliding from perch to perch or tree to tree in the canopy, and the occasional mapuk that is similarly climbing the outsides and the bark, like you are. But the main method of travel is not like most creatures, most humble folk particularly, are walking across the ground. You don't see many vulpins that can move like she does through the canopy.
Okay.
Even
Yeah,
with
I mean,
bridges and other things, ropes and supports. Yeah.
Hattie probably hasn't been this close to Alderheart before to see like this amount of settlements up in the trees. So that makes sense. It's harder to sneak when there's actually a lot more people living up in the trees. Just broadly. Okay. So yeah, if I don't, like, it'll be just occasionally, because just going up and like looking around just to make sure she's not like setting an ambush up for us or anything. But yeah, understood.
Yeah, that is actually quite apparent. And then on your path, coming in the opposite direction, is a covered wagon, with some Mopics also standing, like walking alongside and within the cart as well. That pulls to the side of the road near you, and the driver of the cart is hooded, but pulls her hood back to look at all of you as you are crossing. And a Gerbine face pokes their way through the flaps of the covered wagon, you recognize Walter and Frey, who consider the lot of you as you're passing, and she makes a very blatant gesture to turn her head up towards the trees, where there are many still like many close by perches and creatures and things, and then flicks her tail as there are many of her own who walk beside her, and she says, "You wanted to talk?"
Yes, you have questions.
What were you doing in the Mock Fields?
Well, the
We were
first time,
looking for someone.
yeah,
Her ears flick. Who?
the first time we were looking for a researcher on behalf of the mayor.
The first time.
Mm-hmm.
What's your business in the fields then?
I'm helping a friend.
Yes, we should do question for question. That would be most efficient.
Fine.
Mm-hmm.
She hands the reins to someone who sits beside her, and then turns on the bench, leaning forward with her elbows to her knees and putting her chin in her hands. I was asking on behalf of a friend, Brenna.
You were asking what on behalf of a friend? I don't think I follow.
Asking what makes the dead walk.
Oh, we are very interested in that as well.
Her head tilts.
Not so much now that we are on our way to Eldahart.
I mean, that makes one of us. I'm still interested.
I just meant we are not there, so the answer doesn't really rightly concern us at the moment. Maybe when we're on our way back and our message has been delivered.
You
Your
met
message.
Susan, did you not?
I believe it's my turn for a question.
Yes, sorry.
Where are you headed?
I just said we are headed to Eldahart.
Why?
That's
I
two
believe it's
questions,
our turn for a
correct?
question.
She smiles.
Yes, excitement gets the better of me too sometimes.
I did speak to Susan. Why are you headed to Alderheart?
We bring news of an attack.
The dark patches of her brows lift.
Encroaching fire from the scorched grove. There are few survivors.
What's left of the town of Ashboro needs help from the Perch Guard.
The fires are spreading.
Rapidly. And apparently there isn't much left. 1, 2, 3 survivors, as far as we know.
You work this road. Surely your crews have been attacked by the Ember Bats more frequently than in the past.
Bats and other creatures.
Hmm. Brenna isn't happy with how the Perch Guard has managed to not manage any of these threats.
Yes, I'm sure this Brenna is a champion of the common people that you are accosting on occasion.
No. Irony aside, I want to hear what she has to say. Is it our go at a question? Is it yours?
You can ask.
You don't have to disclose who she is, but what's their proposed solution? I know personally that the Perch Guard aren't people of action always.
No.
Yeah.
Neither are many of the Birdfolk Council.
Sierra nods. So? What's she doing about it?
She's hoping to have enough people interested to advance the coalition.
Ha! Alright. There's where you got me caught up. So. Alright. You go. Got questions then all my brain. Go on.
She sits there for a minute, letting you stew in that.
What are you planning on doing after you bring relief to Ashbarrow?
I suppose for myself, at least, that depends on whether the response from the council is sufficient enough. See what else needs doing.
Yeah. My 2 cents are it's going to be a long time until anyone does anything, so we will probably have to take matters into our own hands. Our homes will be burning up quite soon.
Probably right.
You said you spoke to Miss Susan. Did you, have some of her tea?
I did.
Did you see it?
Yes.
It is your question. Then I would like to ask one.
Why did you drink the tea?
I can only speak for myself. It was curiosity. I did not know that I would see that.
I myself was hoping the tea would show me something different. Thought maybe the spirits might show me something before it happened this time. According to Miss Susan, that was not the case. You saw what I saw. Then you know what sort of things are going on in the Storch Grove. You saw what happened to the people who were there.
The witch may have misled you. That hasn't happened yet.
are you so sure? There's no way you've been to Ashboro and back.
Not Ashboro. These fields smolder. The groves burn. But they hold no breath. Nothing like that. I know. The tenders would talk about that.
Hmm.
What is it exactly that you know? You let me rephrase that. You said that that vision wasn't Ashboro. But that hadn't happened. If it's not Ashboro, where is it?
Hard to say. That girl's eyes are a little low to the ground.
Hey Sarah, what's the Mapoch/Urbine ratio and what's it called? Oh goodness, crumbs! Meadowfen? Meadowfen. Where we're from?
There are a couple of small clans of Gerbine, and there is only the one gaze of Mapak.
Mapoch, right?
Plus, Gerbines are universally more prolific.
Right. Are there any closer perches than Ashboro? Or sorry, to Ashboro than Meadowfen?
No.
I mean, it doesn't rule it out, but okay. Ooh boy.
You ask a question, and then I will ask my question.
Should I expect to have any more problems with any of you?
Could we expect you to continue robbing people on the road?
That question with the question doesn't work. Yes, if you keep doing that. What she said. No, if otherwise.
She looks at you, Hattie.
It does relate to my question, which is, in light of you saw it too, why would you continue doing banditry? Priorities seem to have shifted.
In honesty, which I have been very gracious to supply, she grins. We need supplies. We need supplies for the people who are orphaned and lost and find themselves in the Coalition.
So you think it's reasonable to take everything this one has, and I'll point to Eliza.
Everything. A lot of assumptions.
Yes, you're making many.
Whether it was everything or whether it was a few things, point is, when we first met you, you had still toppled her cart, beaten her to the ground.
Perhaps I'm just doing honor to my ancestors. And she catches up the reins of the cart.
I'll step in front of the cart.
She looks at you.
Life of a thief seldom ends well. You can take it from me.
Yeah?
There's plenty of time to do something better. If this coalition is what it says, is what you say it is, and Brenner has the interest of the people at heart, and you have her ear, maybe it's a good idea to convince her to be for all of the people. No reason to steal. No reason to hurt others. You're low on supplies? Work hard. Make some. Gather the raw materials.
And failing that, you can ask.
She rolls her eyes at you, Sarah.
Don't steal from the left hand to fill the right. And I'll step out of the way of the cart.
Many people admire how ruthless I've seen you all. It's been a real shame that I haven't been able to do better for my people whenever we've happened to cross paths. I feel it fair to say I don't intend to let that happen again. But fate might have other ideas. And she'll flick the reins.
That's entirely your choice.
As she pulls off Hattie Wolcott, I would prefer not to meet like that again. But I suppose it's your choice.
You continue traveling. Only a short few hours into the day, when the mass of the forest begins to thin, because the trees suddenly become much bigger and requiring more breadth. Until finally they clear so distinctly to make way for a behemoth of flora. A tree so grandiose and dense with life that it is breathtaking. Liza, with her cart, instructs you all to take a moment to really look at not only the distance to be traveled yet, but just the wonder and ingenuity of the place. There is platforms and bridges that stretch through every branch of the canopy above, and there are rough steps carved, spiraling through and over the trunk, with dapplings of drilled holes that pockmark the core of it to allow for buildings to be brought inside and built and fixed to its outer bark. It is nearly impossible from a distance to see how to possibly ascend, but Eliza knows the way and begins taking you up from the underfall at the roots and towards the canopy, where you see a changing population. Humble folk, particularly Mapix and Gerbeans, in what would be considered the undergrowth of this tree. And dwindling higher and higher hedges and servants and bird folk begin to smatter this region. And you finally reach the Canopy Market, a beautiful and bustling and colorful locale that is both structured mercantile district and a tented, populated little proper daily market where Eliza can find her sister's old shop, her old emporium, and bring her belongings inside. Is there any thoughts or anything that come to mind as you were coming through?
Hattie's like just staring up with his hood like has slid all the way to the back of his head, just open mouth like ah just constantly oohing and ahhing.
Hattie, I think this might block some of your work for a little bit.
But you can get so much closer up there.
Yeah.
Sure you can try, but even then, I feel like there's just so much here. There's gonna be so much light.
If you want to, I've seen this from very. You can see it from all over in here, but I did not think it would be this big up close.
Yeah.
It does not get any smaller when you approach it. I know about perspective, but this is different.
Hey Gladys. How far have you been? You said you visited here a long time ago.
Oh, I'm from here actually, but it's
Really?
been 15 years or so.
Yeah. Why have you been back? No, conversation around dinner. You can save it, yeah?
Yeah.
Do
Well,
they call this all one city?
It's separated into districts, or rather sections, but yeah. It's
Huh.
all technically all Ardenart. It's different as it looks.
I had heard it, but it is different to see it.
Yeah. It sometimes feels like different places. They, canopy, unfold. It's all different. Part of the same tree.
We never came this far and never had enough money or goods. I suppose they're the same.
well, Eliza, looks like we got you to the Outer Heart Market. Not without a little trouble, but we all made it.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate all that you've done for me. If ever you are in need, equipment or such, or you need a proper buyer, happily take and give 10% to you.
Oh, well, that's awfully kind of you. I'm
Really
sure
appreciate
we'll,
that.
I'm sure we'll have opportunity to take you up on that.
She smiles and her tail flicks around her ankles.
Perhaps we'll stop by a little later, maybe get together for a celebratory dinner, but I think now we've got to try and make it up to the council plaza and deliver this letter and see if we can't get an audience as quickly as possible.
Yes, probably. You should be very careful and also take care. You might want to bring a book or something to entertain yourselves.
Yeah, it's gonna be a ride.
Oh. Between Roderick's hurdy-gurdy and Hattie's star map, I think we'll have plenty of entertainment. Oh, and I'm sorry, Vendi, and of course the ocarina.
The wind.
I drone a few toneless notes.
No, I never thought I'd say this, but I sort of missed that.
All right. Do you guys head up to the council plaza?
Yeah, I suppose so.
All right. The upper levels of Elderheart's canopy can be reached by a stairway that is near Canopy Market that leads up through this massive central pillar. This is where all judicial and government buildings related to the oversight of Elderheart and the entirety of the wood can be found. There is at its center, just at the entrance to this district, is a great statue, carved statue of a Luma that is dressed in ceremonial robes. Many would be able to recognize this as a statue to the speaker Ava, who was the founder of the Birdfolk Council many generations ago. There are more perch guard here than you have ever seen in any of your lives. All marked in livery and armaments of various kinds, and somewhat patchworked in their appearance, but still evidently at attention and with direction. And there is also hardly any humble folk to be seen at all. With a little bit of knowledge that a couple of you have, and with direction from the locals, you can be directed towards the greater council hall. However, most folks immediately kind of admittedly scoff that this is exactly where you're headed, but still point you in the right direction. Find something. Find my handout.
Not exactly a friendly place, is it?
No, not towards most of us, at least.
Okay. Walking
Seems
towards...
being
Oh, continue.
It seems being born and raised here, they've grown quite accustomed to looking down on people. That's it.
You walk towards the council chambers and see this huge domed structure that is rising through the foliage. The building is cradled into a natural curve in Alderheart's central and gigantic trunk. A large platform has been built around the imposing structure that connects it to the branch roads that run throughout the entirety of the city. It is adorned with brightly colored banners displaying crests of the major settlements of the wood. 2 guards in resplendent armor stand watch at the entrance and appear very much to be turning folks away, even as you are approaching, and you are, halted as you get closer, and asked what your business is.
Just before we approach, I
Mm-hmm.
would appeal to the group and say, well, Clock, Bendy, I think the two of you might have the best success as spokespeople for the group.
You think so?
Yes, I don't think they look on, well, quite frankly, the kind of the other four of us very favorably.
Is a bird council after all, so they're going to be looking for a bird, and well, Miss Gladys and I are not exactly the most welcome of birds most places.
Hmm. I would think that you being born here would help, but if not, I'm more than happy.
Poor Cluck. Yeah, it's just not how things work around here. Wish things were different. Here we are.
I was initially amazed, but I'm beginning to not like this place.
Sierra wordlessly just nods and then shakes her head.
See, that's not exactly a sentiment that is exclusive to this town.
Alright, well, might as well get this over with.
All right. You are stopped by the Strig guards at the entrance, and asked what your business is.
We have come to make our reports of the destruction of Asheville and a need for aid for its survivors.
Gladys silently hands Vendy a letter.
I show them the letter.
One of them examines it for a moment, snaps open the seal, and begins to read it. And after a moment, very well, follow me. We'll join the other petitioners that are waiting to be summoned. And he takes you inside the building that is a crowded lobby with many people here. A good couple dozen. That are all somewhat milling about. Some people seem to have brought things for them to do, knitting, or or books to read or draw in, as they are slowly, one by one, brought into council chamber. What would you like to do while you wait?
I am going to try and juggle some nails.
Huh.
Why don't you roll sleight of hand for me?
Please don't stab someone with a nail in the waiting room.
Yeah.
Pretty good. There's definitely the very frequent little clatter of the nails hitting the tile floor and then needing to be retrieved, but you've got a few hours to practice this.
Roderick, you have any advice for me here?
That is not exactly my skill, Miss Gladys. I'm afraid you are way better at that than I could be.
Well, as I say, I guess practice makes perfect.
I have some stones. If you want to try with those.
Oh, well, I appreciate it, Hattie, but I'm much more familiar with the nails.
I'll try.
Oh, here you go.
Oh, I meant with the rocks.
Oh,
How did you learn to throw nails like you do?
well, I've spent many years in construction. I've gotten so good with the nails, I don't even need a hammer anymore.
Ah. Is it for... Sometimes there are things that are up high.
Yeah, sometimes
Can
there
I
are
climb
things.
them?
Yeah, sometimes there are things that are up high. Sometimes it's Just easier than walking over there.
Oh, another moral quandary occurred to me after speaking with the bandit.
What's that?
Uh, it was rude of me to assume that everybody had the same moral compunctions about taking the stars from bandits. We have not shown much mercy.
Harry, what are you talking about?
What do you mean?
The first time we fought those bandits, Hattie, only one of them lost their life. The others were all captured alive. This second time, things were admittedly a little more deadly, but it was almost returned in kind, and I don't imagine that was.
It sure was. I feel like we gave them ample time to retreat. Even telling them, hey, we're capable. Then Clark aiming one of them in front of their leader, say, you didn't get a surrender. We also didn't hurt the one incapacitated or kill the one that we had captured. Because we're not monsters.
I didn't even mean to kill the ones that did.
You are very strong.
Right.
Apparently
She's
so.
real strong.
It is more that I perhaps could have tried to save some of them, but did not. I can try to do better at that in the future, if there are some who would prefer it.
Paddy, I almost died.
I know. I was not pleased.
If you want... I don't have an issue with what you did. I don't think anyone else does. I think you're okay.
That is good. I wanted to check to make sure. I know it is not the same for everyone.
Nah,
He
no.
should be doing well. If you think that it's the right thing to do, then do it. Otherwise,
Right.
I do not personally think that what I'm doing is wrong.
then it is your will. And your will has to do what do not abandon it. It will lead to
Oh. The wind and the whispers are the same then, yes? Maybe I do know what your wind is.
chicken service does.
No, I didn't say anything, but thank you.
Yeah, realizing that everybody's looking at it, Hattie will like pull his hood down further over his eyes and like pull the star chart out.
Gladys, what are you doing? Keep yourself occupied. You juggling?
Yeah, I'm practicing my juggling.
Yep. Oh, sorry, I meant cluck.
Oh, yeah, no. After rolling that, I'm just gonna turn to Gladys. Is it like this?
Now, Clock, there's no reason to show off.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the first time I've ever done that. And she will gently put the things down, a little ashamed.
Yeah, I guess I'll just put these away then. Say, Clock,
Hmm.
who's watching the kiddies while you're out here with us?
There's no kitties right now to watch. That's why I was asked actually to go on this.
Oh,
I had no idea the adventure we'd be going on. I thought it'd just be like a fun romp to another town, and I'd get to visit it. But No, we seem to have stumbled on something very serious.
Yeah, but doesn't mean there can't be some fun along the way, too.
Hey, so far, Susan was great.
Susan was great. A little weird, but great. Glad I didn't drink any of that tea, though.
Honestly, at this point, I kind of wish I had seen. They seem very disturbed by it, and and it feels like we're making moves without all the information.
Oh, well.
I promise you, if there had been anything in that vision that would have helped this group out, I would have told you, but
Oh, I'm sure. It's not that I don't think you're not being forthcoming. It's just some things are easier to understand when you've seen them. The look of horror on your face when you came back. I just don't think it's something you can properly convey with words, you know?
no, but I can convey the idea that it is perhaps something you may want to avoid. It is well, I mean, you saw what it did to Hattie. It's certainly something you have to get used to, dealing with the spirits like that. If what Frey said is true, and that's something that hasn't come to pass, then I will do just about anything to make sure that it doesn't. Otherwise, out there is a very young child who's about to be very traumatized.
Yeah, hopefully our visit here will go a long way in making sure whatever that future event is does not actually come to fruition.
I
But
hope so.
I'm right there with you, Roderick. If there's anything we can do to help stave that off, I'm certainly going to do my best to try.
I'm just worried going up with this council. I'm much better at scolding than I am persuading.
You and Vendy will do fine. You got us this far.
If the two of you find yourselves stuck and you absolutely need help, I'm sure Miss Gladys and myself, and really anybody here, can step up. But hearing the plea from either of you to begin with is probably a better place to start.
Absolutely.
We shall see.
Okay. After waiting for what feels like an eternity, another guard loudly calls out to your party the named number amongst you in
Everybody.
the letter, and instructs you to enter the chambers. And as you pass through the double doors into the council chambers, you see a group of 5 stately bird folk arranged across elevated seats. Each council member has a tall podium in front of them and a sheaf of papers ordered neatly upon each one. There's a circular aperture in the center of the ceiling that allows sunlight to shine in, and a wise-looking bright Gallus raises a talon in greeting and addresses your party. You now stand in the presence of the Birdfolk Council. I am the council's speaker, Bitta. Please, state your case. And you can do so next week.